What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Sea Stories in disGruntlement. As promised, I have my guest here. I consider my brother and my best friend in this entire world, Dan Apollo. What's up, brother?
Hey!
So the last time we hung out was in 3 years ago, or 3.5 years ago, or something like that, when I came to visit in Boston. And times have changed. You've done a lot of things, and we'll get into that as we get along. But first, with all my guests, I have a little brain teasers, little things to get the juices flowing, and
Which juices are we talking?
the brain juices.
Oh, brain. Okay, I
Yeah,
just got excited
we
for a
can't
second.
show that. We can't show the other stuff on YouTube. That's a different channel. All right. So first question: if you're stuck on a deserted island, what's the one thing you want with you?
Are you asking me?
Well, I'm asking you.
Oh, man, that's a tough one. A latex glove.
Okay, that's a first. That's a first. Okay. All right. Second question: if you're stuck, if you can choose one of the two, which would you want to be stuck in a closet with? A water moccasin, or a chimpanzee with a hand grenade with a sense of curiosity?
Well, I mean, obviously the chimpanzee. I mean, that's not even a question.
All right, all right. I heard that question on a podcast I listened to. It's a bunch of seals that do it. I thought that's a good question to ask. All right, since you live in Boston area, and you're from St. Louis, right?
Unfortunately,
Bruins or Blues?
that's not even a question. Bruins.
all
That's
right, all right. I thought I was gonna have a Blues fan, but I, don't want to upset the in-laws, right?
no. I will say this: Blues are good, but the Bruins fight a lot harder.
I didn't fight that hard when we played them.
Well, I'm saying physically, not
Right,
by
right,
game.
right. Yeah. All right, cool. So got the brain juices flowing. So I met my friend Dan here at my third shore duty. This would and your first shore duty, right? All right. So give us a little background, like when you graduated high school, did you join the Navy? Give us a little history about who you are and how we came to meet.
Well, before the Navy, I was your typical boring St. Louis type guy. For everyone who doesn't know the type of person a St. Louis person is most people picture kind of like Southern, maybe Midwestern, low intelligence, hardworking, work ethic type thing. Pretty much sums it up for me.
Like that redneck stereotype type deal.
I mean, I've done some work here and there on a farm, nothing too extensive, not for years on end, but like I can handle myself if I need to. And I've also done the, sort of corporate world beforehand. So
Right, right.
um, after that, joined the Navy. Did 8 years. It was probably the best time of my life, just because I didn't go to college. Right out of high school, went straight into the Navy.
Right, as
Uh,
most people do.
well, yeah, but so going in, I utilized the Navy as sort of my college background by exploring, having fun, partying, all sorts of craziness. Until I got to my last duty station, and that's where I met you, and that's when things went absolutely fucking nuts.
Yeah. So your first command, what was the ship?
USS
It wasn't that long ago. Come on.
Iwo Jima. No, I had to think about it. Iwo Jima.
Ewo. Oh, so we both came from Gators. That's right. I forgot about that. Both amphib guys. So when you were when you're on that ship, what was your job?
So I was an undated or undesignated deck seaman, and then from there I struck into a rate known as quartermaster,
Right.
which was navigation for the Navy.
Right. So those you don't know, quartermasters have plot all the ships where they're going, where they've been, all that type of stuff, so they can send it in, and all the legal stuff is taken care of. Right.
Yeah. That wasn't the first rate that I had tried though. At first, what I was trying to do was RP, religious petty officer, which was setting up mass for the chaplain at the time.
Right. 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 Right.
as I pursued that with my OJT, on the job training, the chaplain on board was really excited for me to take the test. Everybody was helping me out towards the test. And then last minute, I got a quartermaster test instead of an RP exam.
Okay, that's
So,
awesome.
yeah, pretty common to get a swap out like that when you're an undesignated because they pretty much put you where they want you, not where you want.
I got you. I got you. Yeah, I didn't have that privilege of being undesignated. That was just the deal with my recruiters. So, but yeah, I got lucky. So when you got to Earl probably a year before I did, or maybe a couple months before I did, and I know that things are different when you go to that duty station because we weren't on ship; we were taking care of ship. So when you got to Earl, like I told people previously, that I was just still a welder, but it wasn't the same thing I did with the ship. So, as a quartermaster going to that duty station, what did you have to change with your job, or did it kind of still stay the same?
It changed drastically. So I went from navigating ships, plotting courses, doing chart changes to literally doing none of that.
Right.
I started mooring up ships. I took care of the boom, the oil boom that goes around the ship. Um, the only thing that was slightly similar was the small craft portion of it because I did the BBSS for 5 years prior to that.
Oh, right. So yeah, you were already coxswain, right?
So I had to, the small boat portion of port ops was similar, but other than that, I became a deck seaman again.
Okay. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much for the engineers too. They're just the boat engineers, and that was pretty much it. I mean, by the time you left, I don't. Were you doing duty sections with us?
What?
Were you doing duty sections with us by the time you left? We
I don't,
broke down the duty sections.
I don't remember.
All right, yeah, because once we got down to duty section, it's probably when I got back to almost about 3 months before I got, or probably 4 months before I got back to full active duty. They were rolling like I think it was like 8 duty sections or something kind of ridiculous, but it I guess they got tired of people having a day off after having stood the midnight watch or some crap like that. I forget what it was, but it was kind of ridiculous actually.
So the overnight watch was able to leave the next day
Yeah.
and take that day off. So in order to relieve that, because we did 12-hour shifts on the crow's nest, in order to relieve that, we broke it down from like I want to say 4 duty sections to like 8 or 9,
Yeah,
something.
it got pretty insane because then the first classes we'd have to still stand, watch down at the boathouse and all that stuff, and still do command duty officer, which sucked because I mean it's good for evals and everything, but at the same time, it's really just helping you out making chief. Really, you're getting the CDO letter.
From one base to the next base, and they're what 5 7 miles apart
Yeah,
down the road. So I mean, you get a CDO question up at main base, and then next thing you know, you're OIC down in Port Ops.
yeah. I mean, when it broke down. Uh, I know you didn't see it, but it came down to like, well, the MAs their qualifications kind of equaling out with our qualifications, and it almost became a shooting match to where if you didn't have these certain quals, and then once all the quals were met, then it came down to what's this guy like, and that was the probably the easiest part for me and uh, the other engineering first classes because we always have our top three guys already picked out because engineers pretty much already had, well, with Lee and Morgan, we had already have who we wanted, and that's how it was set. Which kind of shitty, but at the same time, I know you were always in a run for it, and then there was always the people who have been trying to make first forever, and they never got looked. So that was kind of like the nudge to get him, that EP just to get that higher score. But it sucked for you because you would always hang out with me, and we would start when we started hanging out. That's when the fun times actually happened for everybody else. Like we pretty much ran. the barracks until it was almost. It was we broke a lot of rules. Let's just say that.
A lot of rules. We didn't abide by any of the rules.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah, yeah. We broke all of them, but at the same time, no one really.
We had a conveyor belt. We would open the window to my barracks room, open the tailgate, unload the groceries, walk them across. Like you're not supposed to with the
Oh, that's
tailgate.
right. I forgot about the tailgate. Oh, that was hilarious.
We had the helicopter flying down the hallway.
Oh yeah, I know we had for those of you who were like, why is the first class staying in the barracks? Well, they had the barracks that we stayed in with me and Dan. We had I was it was technically the Geo Bachelor barracks and like the higher ups. They have a couple junior guys in there, but it was very few and far between. I remember Tim got us a ping pong table, and I'm surprised we didn't get in trouble for the things we did at the ping pong table.
You know, I don't know if that camera ever worked.
It does, but it, uh, from what I heard, they didn't start really looking at it until all the sexual assaults were happening, which was I think like my last year there, because then they had cleaning stations. They had like duty sections broke down for cleaning the barracks, which really sucked.
Yeah.
But so yeah, so the reason why I called Dan my best friend is because you were the first dude that I was ever stationed with that I brought home to meet my mom, and we went snowboarding.
And Tim. And Tim.
No, 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 that was after because you went with me because of Anna's birthday, and
Oh,
that's the first time you met my mom and one of my kids.
I know that the snowboarding was fun.
But yes, that was always a blast. We always looked forward to winter. Like summer was like whatever, but winter like we always checked. As like November hit, we started looking at the ski slopes immediately. Like, as soon as it started to snow, and that was the first thing. Hey, call your mom up. I was like, bet, let's go do this. And it wasn't until we bought our own snowboards is when we were there almost every other weekend
Yeah.
because of how things work with work and everything.
Well, I think what really set things apart was, well, not set things apart, but the JROTC program that we attended.
Yeah,
I
that
think
too.
big help with the bonding.
Yeah, but that was more because that was the last time we hung out with Tamir,
Yeah.
the three of us. Anyway, uh, and that wasn't more of like, hey, we're drinking. This is more of like a bonding situation for us and the rest of the people that were there with us because that's where we really had our group, our friendship with everybody else that was really tight. You know.
Yeah. Because I remember afterwards, that's when I think it was like either that summer or that winter, me and Nicole got together. It was after JOTC.
That was a winner because you moved out with out of Higgy's place.
Yeah.
That's when you were in the barracks.
Yeah.
So hold on a second, Dan.
You?
All right, folks. Sorry about that. My daughter had an pertinent question to ask my buddy here. My other younger daughter's never met Dan yet,
Yeah.
and their half brother. Wait, no, cousin. Yeah, that would imply that I had to.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
How does the family thing work? But I think the most fun we had is when we brought Joe and Mike with us, and that's when we tried to force feed booze to Mike and well, not Joe, because Joe was being all, trying to stay, you know, tight with Shandy. Like he couldn't like drink that much.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Johnson.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
McLean and Johnson, and
Oh,
then
McLean. That guy.
so we were at this one ski resort in Pennsylvania. I'm not going to drop names because they're not paying for sponsorship, so I'm not going to leave that at that. So we're at this one mountain, and we, the three of us had boards, and Joe had to rent, or Johnson had to rent his. I think no, Mike and Joe had to rent theirs, didn't they? Because we already had ours.
Yeah.
So we got ours. We took it to get edged and waxed because it's been banging around the dorm rooms for I don't know what. So we're ready to go. Mike and Joe come out, and you go up to Mike and say, "Hey, go get your edge wax because it's a rental board." And you don't need to because they do it anyway. So we're trying to get him to waste all his money. But we're telling, hey, you told Mike he's gotta buy lunch because we left our wallets in your car.
Yeah.
I remember that. But that bar that night.
Well, let, I don't want to get into that night because me and McLean didn't really
Oh
see
no,
eye because I
that's
remember he wanted to fight you, then he wanted to fight me. We don't need to rehash those.
what the funny thing was. I say it's funny just because he wanted to be the big dick in the bar, and
Oh no.
the bartender was playing him so well, played him so well. Like Mike asked for 3 or 4 shots of Johnny Walker Blue, and the bartender, I remember him saying this. He's like, "Look, Johnny Walker Blue is $40 a shot." And this is a little town. People are thinking it's not that expensive. It isn't. It's like 30 or 20 bucks, depending on where you go. Probably higher in the 30s. But this guy was going to charge him 40 for him being an asshole. And you told him, like, no, I thought it was 50.
Why Mike went.
That was the best
I
because
And then, do you remember? We all looked at him because after we got the 4 shots, we all looked at him. You, me, and Johnson were
sipping it.
sniffing it.
Yeah.
He shot it, and then he chased it with pickle juice.
He thought it was a Johnny or a Jameson shot, right? Yeah.
Something stupid. He chased Johnny Walker with pickle juice. That was I lost. I
We
had
all did.
an ounce of respect at some point in time. It was gone then.
Yeah. Because when
And that,
we got back to our house or my house. You crashed in my room with me, and then Joe already said he'd sleep on the couch because he didn't know Mike was coming or not. And then McLean, I guess he crawled on the floor and puked, right?
I feel bad for your mom having to deal with us.
But we cleaned up. Well, we made sure we cleaned up every time we were there. Not just with that, but we cleaned up everything.
Yeah.
Just
Still,
because,
the fact that he tolerated us.
yeah,
I mean, when it's me and you and Tim, that's one thing.
yeah. Tim was like a little standoffish because he was like, no one's been this nice to me, introduced me to their parents. Like he was really nervous the whole
No.
time. Like, dude, relax. It's okay. It's your house. This is mom too. Yeah, she's white. She's not Asian. It's okay. And my mom's looking at both of us like, what the fuck is wrong with you two?
And then we tried that snowboarding down that little tiny hill in the backyard, and it was all frozen.
Yes. No, 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 no. I tried to get you to do it off the roof, but Tim was like, no, don't do that. Don't do it. I was like, I know you'll do it. There's a ladder back there. We can get on the roof.
See, the worst part about it is you know my weakness. Just give me liquor, and I'll do whatever you want me
We
to.
weren't drunk. Oh, but yeah, we were.
We were constantly drunk.
Because we went to the one mountain and we came back because I guess we were soaking wet
Hmm.
because it was all icy and stuff. And we found out later it's going to be cooling down so they can blow more snow and it won't be as wet and slippery and stuff. So we came back to dry everything off. Yeah, that's how. Yeah, because it was that one night. The day we went there was raining, and it stopped raining when we got to the mountain. So yeah, it was pretty much like you're pretty much ice skating with a snowboard and trying to stay dry.
That was that was still early on, and when I was starting to snowboard. So remember, I went down. It was a blue square,
You
and I
went down and you slid all the way down the rest of the mountain.
huh?
I remember you falling down and going down all the way down the mountain or halfway down it.
So yeah, but then I went down the blue square, right? And then once I got to the very bottom, I was so psyched. I was so happy that I did a trail. I got to the very bottom, and then I don't know what happened. I was slowing down backwards.
Oh, that's right. And you just
I hit that ice patch, and next thing you know, I knocked myself out.
well, for a second, you weren't out. You were like, huh.
God, I'll remember that forever.
Man, all right. So I'm not getting tired. I just had to stretch my yawn out. But that'll do it for this episode. Folks, stay tuned for the second part of this episode because it's going to get a lot better. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next episode.